So with the advancement of AI, the importance of AI in the market, we're excited to be a partner for our partners, to help them on their journey, moving forward towards efficiency and effectiveness in project, portfolio, and resource management, so they can deliver better results for their customers.
Welcome to Kaseya Connect. I'm Scott Campbell with the Global Technology Industry Association, the vendor-neutral nonprofit trade association serving the IT channel. And we are here in Las Vegas this week talking to lots of channel executives to find out about what's going on in the industry. And I'm really excited to be joined right now by Mike Psenka, the CEO of Moovila. Welcome, Mike.
Thanks, Scott. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. So our first question to you, what's new with Moovila? What do you guys got going on?
So we've got a lot of stuff going on right now. We're really excited about the transformation of AI. We've been kind of in that space for a while, making sure that we could deliver accurate timelines, projects, and portfolios. And now, obviously, there's such a massive push for this. So I think a little previously there was a little anxiety and stress about AI, but now we find that the attitude is really engaging around that concept. So we're really excited about it because we continue to push innovation and functionality out in each successive release to make it better and easier for MSPs to stay on top of it.
And that was one of the big messages from Rania Sukkar, the Kaseya CEO, at her keynote this morning, was about AI, and the immediacy is coming quick, right? So it's something that ITSPs, if they're not involved, they really start having more than conversations about.
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah, for sure. And I think what we've seen over probably, I think the course of the last year was there were Copilot, if you roll the clock back a year ago, it was Copilot licenses and rolling that out. But I think especially in the US, there's a lot of inbound pressure from customers to help them manage AI and track against that. And the MSPs themselves are really trying to optimize and gain efficiencies for their own margin. So that has really moved quickly, and we've seen that move quickly across the space even accelerated in the last 6 months.
Well, you talk about gaining efficiencies. Obviously, you guys are kind of focused in the project management space. And one of your studies recently, I think it was 47%, so nearly half of MSPs said that project management is impacting profitability, right? Like they're seeing a lot of pain points around project management. So what's the big pain point there, and what are you guys doing to help kind of alleviate that?
Yeah, so I guess in 2 words would be bad dates, right? So it sounds like a simple thing, but unfortunately, for anyone managing any kind of projects, there's a statistical certainty that you're going to have projects that go off the rails. And in a talk we tell people, you have a greater probability of winning Powerball 4 times in a row for a mid-size MSP than for their project portfolio to go off without a hitch, even though their people are working on time 90% of the time. Like, no one understands that every project is kind of on its way to some sort of hiccup. And so bad dates, unfortunately, contaminate the entire business intelligence pipeline for their business, their customer communications, their scheduling churn. That can really be damaging to margin in so many areas for the efficiency in the process and also the customer reputation. So by automating that, kind of like RMM, think about a task like it's an endpoint. Yep. By using AI to autonomously monitor the projects in the portfolios, you sort of get kind of the same lift and benefits maybe that you would when you went from being a break-fix MSP to one that used RMM.
So that's interesting. One of the other, I think, interesting data points too from your survey was like a good 59% maybe of MSPs reported that scope creep had become like an issue for them too. So you talk a little bit about, what's the problem there with scope creep? Again, that gets almost back to maybe the manual part of it, right? Of like too much manual stuff coming in as opposed to automation.
Yep. Well, scope creep occurs when, once again, they're not on top of the project, autonomously monitoring it and understanding what's going on. And scope creep is a direct bottom line margin leak, right? It's your engineers working on something more than you're getting paid for. It's not getting tracked. And the example that we talk about for a lot of folks when you think about scope creep is, if you were getting your bathroom renovated and the contractor came to you and said, hey, Scott, I got to fix something in the subfloor. It's going to cost you an extra $5,000. If he's still working the job, you're going to have a conversation and maybe you pay $4,000, but you're going to do it. But if he comes back to you 4 months after it's done and you've paid your bill and says, oh, by the way, it turns out we did this, you're going to look at him and go, you really expect me to pay that bill? So MSPs need to stay on top of those projects to identify that scope creep early so they can prevent the leakage in their margins in their business, because they see it on a regular basis.
And so the influx of AI-powered and AI autonomous features can help with that, right?
Yeah, because it's that continuous monitoring and observation, identifying the risks and the problems early in the process. So, once again, just like RMM increases the span of control and identifies the risks early inside the network, autonomously monitoring these projects and these portfolios identifies scope creep and overages on hours early, so managers can intermediate, go to the customer. And once again, most MSPs have a good relationship with their customers. When those scopes increase, they can negotiate and capture that margin in the project and keep it profitable.
So speaking of AI, we just came out, GTIA just came out with our new State of the Channel 2026 research, cheap plug there, available on our member portal. And one of the things we talk about in it is, I think it's 25% of ITSPs now are AI driven. Another 47% are AI invested. 23% are AI curious, so about a quarter, and like 3 to 5% were AI phobic, actually don't want anything to do with AI. So altogether, about 72% are at least investing in AI, if not driven by AI. Is that good, bad? Where should that be?
Yeah, whether it's good or bad, I think it's absolutely necessary. I think maybe unless you're a structured wire installer, but even then you could probably use AI to get better install plans, process and efficiency, or scheduling. If there was ever an industry where it was a necessity, I would say maybe this is certainly one of them. So I think it's a good thing. It's needed. It's needed to lower their cost structure. It's also needed to service their customers more effectively because their customers are doing it, right? It's a little bit, this is similar in healthcare, right? Physicians and healthcare providers are having to engage in AI because we as patients are going to come in with that knowledge and information. And so it's going to be the same thing. MSPs have to go down this journey and this path. And so it's not surprising to me to see a tiny percentage that are phobic.
Okay. And last question, speaking of AI, you sit on our AI Advisory Council, GTIA AI Advisory Council. For our industry advisory councils are all volunteer-led, and you guys spend a lot of time working on initiatives to kind of help the whole industry. It's a real great give back to the rest of our members and to the whole IT industry. Can you talk a little bit about what's new with the AI Council? What are you guys doing, and what do you think? What advice do you have for other ITSPs going forward?
Yeah, well, I'm super excited to be on the council, and it's a privilege to be on with a lot of really bright, hardworking people in the industry, and love being part of the GTIA community. I mean, it's such a great way for us to engage, and also kind of in a non-stressed, really free, open thinking way to do that. As far as what we're doing, we're trying to provide structured educational content and material for MSPs. And I think the important thing is creating a stepwise program, right? Because the statistics that you talked about, there are people at different levels of commitment. And so what we're trying to do in the AI Council is understand overall everybody's desire, at what level they want to engage at, right? Not everybody wants to go in and tune and build models for their customers. Some may just want to assess availability or provide Copilot licenses. So we're trying to create a framework of education for MSPs so they're comfortable engaging, so we can get the largest number of GTIA members engaged in on that journey of education and efficacy.
Well, that is great. Thank you very much for all you do for the AI Council, and thank you very much for being on GTIA on Location.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. Really appreciate it, Scott.
And thank you for being part of GTIA on Location. We're here at Kaseya Connect. We're going to have lots of great content all week. Stay tuned. Look out for the playlist on our YouTube channel. Subscribe, and we'll be back soon with more stories.